Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Sunday today, and today I want to use a brand new product that I haven't used before, but I'm excited about. It's called Attention Shoppers, and it's a bundle that is in the annual catalog. I've had my eye on it. It's one of those that I wasn't going to buy, and then I've seen the most adorable projects with it, so I couldn't resist. And to announce that I'm going to be working with some new demonstrators that I haven't, some I've worked with before, but we're doing a stamp camp called Fun Folds and More. At least that's the working name for it, in August. And we are going to be using this bundle as well as the Full of Life Designer Series paper and a couple of other projects. And so if you purchase that set of projects from me, you will get the stamp camp for no cost. So there will be 7 fun folds in the make and takes, and then 7 bonus projects that you'll get live in our stamp camp. So I'm excited. We've just started planning it, but I thought I'd better pull out this bundle and start to do some creating with it to kind of get me in the mood for it. But it's just so fun. All right, and I'm going to do some paper piecing today because I love to paper piece, and this one seems to be a great set that will work for paper piecing. So let me switch over and we'll get started. So just one more thing about this. I will open up registration for the stamp camp in the next week or so. So stay tuned if you are interested. So this is the Attention Shoppers bundle. Look at this, adorable. So you have a shopping cart and then all sorts of things you can put in the shopping cart. And then some really great sentiments that you can use with it. So these images are actually just a touch smaller than they really are. 95%. It's a rubber, no, photopolymer stamp. Oops, you haven't opened it. Comes with these set of dies. Look at this shopping cart. Great way. We've got some silver foil, which I'm going to use today. I've cut the shopping cart and the wheels out of that silver. And then the dies that cut the stamped images. Fun. Okay, and then this is, I've only pulled out, one of these pieces of, this is the Full of Life Designer Series paper. So all sorts of really lovely bright colors. I thought I'd use this one and do some shopping bags out of it, paper pieced. So we will start with that. So when you're paper piecing, what you're going to do is you're going to stamp these images twice. So I'm going to stamp. I'm going to use this bag, the shopping bag that's full of some goodies. So we're going to pick that up. And I'm going to use my Designer Series paper for the bag part. So I'm going to use this piece of Designer Series paper I'm going to stamp on it and then we'll cut it out. So I'm going to stamp there and there. Try not to waste too much of it. And there. I don't know if I'm going to use the 3 bags, but I've got my Designer Series paper stamped, and I'm going to do the same on white because I need something to stamp or to adhere my Designer Series paper to. Okay, leave those for the minute. So what I'm going to do now is paper snips. And I'm going to take, and I just want the bag part. So really, I'm just going to take and cut around. So if you've got scraps of the Designer Series paper, it's a great way to use up scraps. I don't actually have any scraps. So I'm just cutting the bag portion of the stamp and leaving those, what looks like tissue paper. I am not cutting that out. I will color that tissue paper with a Stampin' Blend. So I'm getting some pretty colorful shopping bags. I love to get shopping bags, the reusable bags when you're shopping. I don't know. I always find things that I can do with them. I store all sorts of things in them. I may decide to cut the handles off, but we'll think about that in a minute because that's going to just make it really complicated if I do. But I think I might end up, because I've got a section here that you can see through, and I think that's going to make it really weird looking. So we may end up cutting the handles off. But for now, we're just going to do the shopping bag with the handle, and then we'll see how it goes after that. Okay, so that's the idea for the paper piecing for the moment. You could use the dies, I guess, but I really just want to cut the bits off, and it doesn't take too long to do that with my paper snips. Okay, so got that done. I've got a piece of thick basic white cardstock, so I'm going to keep the card base white because I've got really colorful designer series paper. So I've got this is 5.5 by 8.5, and we've scored it at 4 1/4. So we'll burnish that on the raised, fold into the mountain or the raised line. And then I cut a piece of basic white cardstock, and I embossed it using, this is called Dashing Patterns, I think is the name of this new embossing folder. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see this really cool texture. It's part of the Wildly Flowering or Wildflowers suite. So that's going to be my card base. And then I cut, so we have silver foil, which we haven't had. So this is just kind of the regular silver foil. And I cut my shopping cart out of that. So I'm going to put that, and my idea is these are going to tuck in like that, and then I probably will have one sitting like that. That's my idea for this card. So we can start. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to do some coloring, and so I've got some really bright. So I'm going to use, let's see what I'm going to use. Let's use Daffodil Delight. Not boho blue. Balmy blue. And now I need there's Melon Mambo. So we'll keep it kind of the same colors of the families. And I do think I'm going to cut the handles off. I'm going to color the handles. So I'm going to start with some. I'm not going to do really much blending. I'm just using these to color. So there's some yellow handles. And then I'm going to just do all sorts of multicolor. I love putting tissue paper into packages. It just kind of creates something really pretty. Oh. So I'm going to make them all 3 different color handles. And then just add some tissue paper in the same colors. So I am really just coloring. I am not blending at all. Just doing some coloring. Okay, and then we'll use Bobby Blue for this last handle. Oopsie. Let's go back. That needs to be yellow. Forgetting a section. Through the handle, which is what I'm going to cut off when I finish this. Okay, so that's that. I might need some more colors here. Let's use the dark Melon Mambo. You could use your markers. You could use watercolor pencils. All sorts of things you can use to to color these, and I don't actually know. No, there isn't. And I thought maybe there was a stamp that you could color these, but it's not a two-step stamping. All right, so I may need some green. What shall I use for green? Let's use Granny Apple Green. Just to add a little more color. And we'll just say that that's all one, oopsie, piece. Getting myself mixed up in the colors I'm using, that's all right. Doesn't really matter. It's just trying to make it fun and colorful. And then one more. I don't have blue on this one, so let's use those in blue. All right, so I've got my tissue paper colored, but I do need to go back onto these. And I'm just going to take and cut around this handle so that the handle, the stamped handle, will be the handle. When you're doing paper piecing, I've done some really small, there was a turtle a couple of years ago that was so adorable, this cute little turtle, and I did him, and it was kind of hard to do. Well, it wasn't hard to do, it was just finicky to do because the spots on the turtle were really little, and so if you pick some images, they're a little bigger. Even this is a little finicky now that I've decided to cut around those handles. So if you pick fairly large images, paper piecing is really fun to do. Okay, one left. And then we can start putting this card together. So I'm just really cutting on the lines. If you don't want the white to show, so the white that I've got on my stamped images, you can do some coloring on it too. I'm not going to. Hopefully my white will be all covered up, but if you find that some of the white shows, you can kind of stamp, or you can color around it. Okay, so let's get some glue. And we can now, oh, came out a lot. Didn't want that much. Okay. So now you just take and adhere this over top of that same section, and it covers nicely. How fun is that? So you can make some really bright and fun shopping bags with this technique. That. And then the last one. Doesn't take a long time. So you can take and use your dies if you want, or you could just fussy cut these. But there is a die here that will cut that out. So we'll do that. I'm just going to take and just cut that off. And I will use I'll bring my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in. Let's get the handle so I can get at it. And then my little piece of Post-it note tape to hold that so it doesn't shift too much, or at all, hopefully not at all. There's one. And two. And then we can start assembling the card. So I could have used there's all sorts of images here you can put into your shopping cart. If you have somebody who likes wine or beer, that could be a wine bottle or a beer bottle or maybe a bottle of water. There's some really cool fancy bottles of water that you can get. And then the birthday cake is fun too. I don't know that will fit very nicely in in the shopping cart, but definitely on the card. All right, last one. Come on. My glue kind of splodged out a little bit as it pressed, as the die was pressed when it went through. The glue, oopsie, let's get that one back on. The glue kind of splodged out a little bit. So one thing to note, try not to get too much glue, or if you get some extra glue, just make sure it's really dry before you run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because it does kind of splodge out a little bit. There we go. Okay, oh, nice and repaired. That. Okay, so let's take and I'm going to just put a little bit of glue along the bottom of this shopping cart and put the wheels on. Like that. Getting glue all over the place today, but okay, there we go. So you can make your shopping cart any color if you wanted to. What I want to make sure when I put my shopping cart on here and I adhere it, I don't want to glue the top because I want to be able to put my basket or my bags in and maybe pop them up a little bit. So I'm going to make sure that I leave a bit of a gap. So I'm going to just glue this bottom and maybe this handle, and then we'll glue this down, and I'm going to put it at a, I won't put it at an angle. That'll look funny. Okay, so I've glued down just a little bit, and so my shopping cart is still open a little bit, so I can take and tuck my, if I can find some, there we go. I can take and tuck in my shopping bags underneath it, and we're going to pop them up with dimensionals. So I love the fact that we now have silver, like a true shiny silver foil, as opposed to the more titanium color, the more kind of purpley one that we've had. So I'm going to put this one. There we go. How fun is this? Oh my gosh. There we go. There's my shopping cart. And now here's another bag. And then the last thing I need on the front of this card is a sentiment. Let's just put that there. Like that. And now I need a sentiment. So I think I'm going to use the happy birthday. It's fairly small and I don't have a ton of room because I used it all my room for my shopping bags. That. Hey Claudia, welcome. Glad you could join. All right, so I'm just going to take, and I'm not going to fussy cut around this, but I am just using my paper snips to cut a rectangle. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. Let's glue this on first. So when I use have an embossing folder or an embossed cardstock, I like to use glue, liquid glue, so that it gets into those nooks and crannies. Now I just want to take and add just a dot of glue to see if I can get that edge to kind of stick down. Like, oops, let's hold it down for a minute. Oh, hey, Carol, welcome. Yeah, from Kelowna. So if you missed the beginning of this, I'm doing a stamp camp in August called Fun Folds and More. And we are using this Attention Shoppers bundle with some other products. So if you purchase those products through me, you will get the Stamp Camp for free. All right, let's do that. Pop that up. I guess I didn't need to pop it up and put that over there. A glue dot. Yeah, a glue dot, although the glue dot is a little bigger than that, but I think I've got it stuck. Okay, now I also pulled out, these are one of the products that we're using. These are the iridescent faceted gems, and I thought that they would look really pretty. They're really kind of glittery because of the iridescence. So there's 2 sizes. So let's put them, where should that one go? Maybe over here. And then one of the little ones. And I'm not going to put ribbon because I really just want that to be, isn't that fun? Gosh, I like the way that turned out. Now we need something on the inside. And I could take a piece of this. Let's take a piece of this designer series paper. And I'm going to just cut 3/4 of an inch off that edge and make it 5.5 because I don't have an inside to my card. One thing to note, a couple of tips, is I'm using thick basic white cardstock. If I was going to color on the inside of my card, so say I wanted to stamp one of the shopping carts and I was going to color it with my Stampin' blends, I put another piece of basic white cardstock on top because it will seep through and you will see that on the back of the card, and you don't want to do that. Because I haven't stamped anything and I'm not coloring it, I'm just putting DSP. I don't think you need an extra layer on the inside of the card, but definitely if I was going to stamp an image and color it with something, I would use an extra piece of like 4 inches by 5.25 piece of basic white cardstock. But there we go. Isn't that fun? I love paper piecing. So much fun. Now this isn't a fun fold, but the Stamp Camp that we have coming up, I think it's August 17th is the date, but don't hold me to that. The Stamp Camp will be all fun folds. So the make and take projects, as well as the bonus projects you get as part of the Stamp Camp, will be fun folds. And so you will get 7 make and takes and 7 bonus projects that you will use when you purchase the products from this products that we've put together for the Stamp Camp. And so stay tuned for more information. We'll be getting that out soon. And if you don't live in Canada, because you can't purchase from me, you live in either the US or the UK, and possibly Europe, because I don't know, Stacey Marsh is participating with us and she may be able to sell to you if you're in Europe. But if you're in one of those markets, you can reach out to me and I can put you in touch with the demonstrators that are in those markets. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me. Now I'll be back live on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. for my sketch challenge. So come join me then. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be live on Monday or be in my normal Zoom class on Monday night. We're kind of in the hockey playoffs at the moment for the Stanley Cup. I'm rooting for the Oilers. The Canucks are out, so I'm rooting for the Oilers. And so if there's a hockey game, I'm afraid that may take my attention away. But I will post whether or not there's going to be a Zoom class on Monday night at 7. All right, everybody, thanks for joining me live, and we will see you on Tuesday. Happy stamping. Bye.